Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, we had a hitch today trying to use a Collaborate Ultra for our drop-in section today. Be it as it may, I want to use this medium to deliver the lecture that I wanted to talk about regarding interactive visualization with plotting. Now, I want to use data from stock movement, which gave information about daily movement of the stock. Tells you that you have the stock is high or it's low, the opening price, the volume sold in a given day. This information is very vital for those who want to buy stock, and at every point in time they are looking at this movement stock that give them the idea of ability to invest or not. The first couple of things you need for this visualization is the libraries, which I've just highlighted. The first one, which is Lubridate, is similar to, it does almost the same kind of thing with XTS. They use them for converting dates, maybe from character to date and stuff like that. Of course, you are used to DPLOYR and Plotly. You know them. So when you read the library saying, the next thing that you need to do, which is always the right thing, is to get in your reading your data. Of course, you have the data already in your folder. So we have the stock daily movements. As soon as I read it in, what do you see? You see some other important information that will be helpful, like, of course, we can run it. When you run this, you can run the DF, which represent the data. The data have been assigned to DF. So if I run that, you have the DF. You can open it and see the way it looks like. You see it, you have dates, the open price of the stock, how high was it, how low did it go, the closing price, adjusted closing price, the volume that was sold in a day. So you have lots of information from 4th of February 2019, and you get on and on and on and on. You know, you can get this sort of information for different stocks, you can get it for different items and all that. So the most important thing is to have the data, then you can treat it and the way you like and use it to solve your problem. So as soon as you've done that, what do you do next? You know, you can see here that I'll just read in the data, just reading in the data, which is very important. Once you do that, you need the data because you need the data to do what you want to do. Now, the next thing I'm doing here is to be able to convert use the XTS data to convert the dates. You know, the reason why I'm converting the date in this data to the dates, you know, for it to convert it is to ensure that date will look like date, because most of the time when you have the data, the date is seen just like an integer or a character. Now, if it's seen in that form, unfortunately, there is no way you can use it to run out any useful information. That is very important. You have to note it. If you make the mistake of seeing a date which has not been converted as date and use it to run out any information, maybe to plot for date, you will run into problem. However, if it is seen as date, you don't have any issue. For instance, if I try to read the DF and see how the date looks like, because that could help. If you do it here, you see that what you have here, if you look down here, you see you have the data, represented, but the date here is read as factor. What does it mean? If you want to plot it as date, it will not accept. It will not be seen as date. It's seen as a factor. Like the volume, high, close, they are seen as numbers. But the date is seen as a factor. What does that mean? It is not date. That is the reason why I introduce this XTS. So what do? Try to pick up the column that you want to deal with, because I want to break everything down. It's not a must. You may not want to break it down. You may decide to follow another format by trying to just make sure the date turns to date. That is okay. There is no hard and fast way to follow it, but I just felt like following it in bits. So what I did is to try, and it's a long process anyway, but that may give you more information about what you need to do when you have a different data set you are dealing with. So what I'm doing here is to, first of all, try to pick the DF open, that is the open price, and convert everything to a file called DF open. And what does it do? I put date attached to it. Note again, I have to put this date in the form of day, month, year, because the date is shown in the form of day, month, year. You must have to note that the date proper is shown in that form. If you don't, not every other thing, sorry, but just the date. You see it. If you don't follow it that way, if you don't put that right, you run into problem. It will affect what you are doing. So that is it. So with that, I can now, you see, I just use the same syntax, STS, the library, and then put this date to represent the form we have, and then I will go ahead and run, get different assign for volume, for close of stock, adjusted price, and everything. So that is what is here. So for instance, if I run through, you see this, you can just see that. So if I just decide to open just for maybe the date adjusted, what do you see? You see that the date here is used as index. And because the date is used as index, so the date is used as index. It may not have been recognized as date, or it has been recognized as date anyway, but we don't have anything here. So I will move back. Okay, so if I move back, you see I've just got everything here well sorted out. So you can plot them independently, individually. But I want to do another thing. I want to merge all these together so I can merge them and form another data frame, or another data set which I will put in a data frame form. So I put everything together and merge them. There are many other ways you can do that, you know that. But I'm just using this procedure. So once you've done that, remember we have this, this df underscore date. If I run it, because I've merged everything, I will come up with something. And what do I have? It has an index. If you look up here, you see that, you see the index, you can see that this is the index here. And that contains all the dates. So what I will do is a date is assign the index of df so that I can now pull the date out. And once I assign that index, I'll run it, assign the index, run it again. Then I can say that, instead of using this, I'll call it a new name. df underscore data underscore new is a data frame. So, and the data frame has date attached to it, so that I can now be dealing with date as a different entity. So I will run it again, and you see that I have date. Now let's run the string of this new data set. Let's see how it looks like. Now if I run it as string, which it just help you to str to help you see the character of the parameters, you see that now I have df as number, df underscore open as number, and all that and all that. You have the date now is date format. Now watch. The date has now turned to year, month, day. So that is what you have done, all this XTS conversion. That is what it has given to you. Don't forget that. All right. So having said that, we are all good to go. Now you can go ahead and do your plotting. Remember, we are dealing with plotting, which is very, very interactive. So what I'll do now is just put the data, which you know is this. The data is this. df under data underscore new. And I will put it in the plotly, which is, you know, is a standard syntax. What is my x? Because I'm dealing with x and y. My s is date, and my y is df underscore open. Of course, if you open this data set, df underscore data underscore new, you will see that you have one of the columns dealing with df underscore open, because I made them all here. So once you do that, of course, y-axis is list 0, O line. This is just like a standard syntax, you know, that you are using for your plotly title. That is not an issue. So I will run that. You see what happens. I will run one, see, and then let's see. Oh, good. You see it's here. I have my graph. You can zoom it. You see properly. Interactive graph. So if you come over here, you tell May 2nd, 2019, the stock opening price this day is $16.85 or whatever. The same way. So that is just what this is doing. Okay. This is the date anyway. So you see, if you don't do XTX as an initial step to convert the date to date, you won't have this sort of plot. It will not work for you. I'll remove this. And what else do I do? I have the high, low, close, adjusted, DF, which is, the volume. So I repeat all what I've done here, everything here. I repeat it. So, and what happens? I'll just keep doing that. Now repeat for the closing price of stock, the same thing. But I've just done one thing here. I've decided to put line and markers. So you can add color if you want. So if I repeat it and run, what do I have? Have something new coming up. Good. Now I can zoom it again. You see, one and the same thing. So you see the markers are the points and all that. So it's just repetition of what I've done. Now I'm going to repeat that for all the other columns, which is volume. I will do that again for the adjusted price, you know, just for you to have a feel, you know. The most important thing in knowing this is that you can apply this same technique for whatever you are going to do as your project. All right? Remember that you have to put your plot into Plotly. Put it online so that I can see it when I'm assessing you. So the same thing. This is the stock closing price. Do the stock closing price. Do the unfortunately I gave all of them. Maybe I gave this the same name with the other one. Yeah. So this is the stock closing price. Yes, that is it. So I think we did for the opening price before, or the high price. So you do this and you can interact. Keep going. You can do that for the next one. What is the next one? The low price. You get it as well. Just remember that all what we're doing is following the same pattern. Oh, sorry, we can't reach this now. I think I have to refresh, but you can see it here. That is just one and the same thing. All right. So once you've done that, you can see what is happening. Now, what do you do next? I'll just refresh this. Hopefully, it will clear that history, and maybe we can get the other one. Then we'll try and do the fifth one, which is adjusted price. Hopefully we get that running again, and you can see that. Let's see how it goes. If you watch, I see these things are following the same pattern, the same thing. Oh, it can show as well. So hopefully we are going to clear the view. But you can just see that the whole thing is working out well as it ought to do. So you can see that it's all going well as it ought to be. So there's nothing to bother so much about that. The process is just one and the same thing. But you must bear in mind that the first thing you need to know is, how do I write this syntax? And that is why I'm putting it down here for you. You can adapt it into your work and whatever you want to do. All right, so I have cleared the screen, so I will run this again. Hopefully it will run perfectly this time around. If I run it, yeah, just that is it. You know, the worry is that when you're plotting a lot of things, it will not show because it's interacting. The site will say, look, not available or something like that. So I will just zoom this. If I zoom, yeah, so you see the interaction. Yeah, just similar to what I showed you before. There is nothing new here. Don't forget that all what we're doing is to be able to interact, because look, when you see these things, Plotly helps you to see and interact and feel the way these things are doing. The data is going at every point in time. You can decide to even zoom. You can zoom a particular section. You can decide to zoom here. You zoom here, and you see clearly what is going on. Okay, that is how interactive it is. You can decide to show some other things. Compare data by hovering and try to probably reset axis. Reset it to the way it should be. If you are not happy with it, you can just do different things with it. But it just depends on what you want to do. All right. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out. If you zoom in and out, and when you can even download it and all that. So if you are not happy with that, you bring it back again to where it is. So I'll just remove this. Right. So this is the same thing I'll do here. So I'll do the same here. I keep going. But that is not my own worry. Look at the main worry I have, that what I want to actually show you. Now, I want to make this more interactive by combining all the graphs. What do I want to do? Now, I want to combine all the graphs. I want to bring the high, the low, the high, low price, the adjusted price, the stock opening price, the volume. Put them all in one graph so that you can interact with them. How am I doing that? I know you have this already in the model. You have this in with Python reading, but just to bring it up and throw some more light, because some of you may look at that, the syntax and the codes there, you can freak out. There's nothing to freak out. Just have a look at it, and you're able to, give it a good go, because it's straightforward. I want you to know one thing. There is nothing new about some of the codes that look a bit frightening. They are not. Of course, the guys that developed the codes have used this technique to interact with the compiler. So your duty is to, again, follow the same technique and interact with the compiler. You did not design it. I did not design it. I just need to know what they did, follow it, and replace my own data, do a little manipulation, I have a result. That's it. So for me to combine, I say update menus. Why am I updating menus? I have different lists. Of course. This is the list of lists. When I talk about this active part and the button, don't worry so much. This part is helping you to, get a button that you need to click and change and click again to get the new ones. But you have one thing you need to bear in mind. I have different levels. The level for open. After opening, you have to, what is the method? You update. Update the information. But there is this ARGS, the argument. Very important. What is the argument doing? I say that the first one, the first level is open, and when I have this open, the first one should be true. Why? Remember, I have 6 different parameters I want to view in one graph. So the legend on, legend only, and all that. Sure. So once the first one is true, you see it. But the remaining ones will be only legend you see. All right? The same thing is repeated here. The label should be closed. The second one, that is the store closing. Now the legend, you see, for the first one is no longer this legend. So if I click this, you update to true, which is the second one, because close is coming as number 2. The same way. Go to number 3, you move through there until you come to number 6, which is, if you watch here, you see my number 6 is where you have the true at the end. If there are only 4 things I want to view, 4 parameters, you just move that, move this out. Move these 2, and you have 4. All right? That is it. Remove the last 2. But bear one thing in mind, that as you are removing it, the true will follow a synchronizing order. It will have to move to, from, that is the position of the data you want to open, is where it will be in the order they have been placed. You have to note that. All right. So once you replace what you want to replace or add what you want to add, you are good. Very easy. You can do your visualization. So that is just it. There is nothing difficult about this. But remember that these names are what you are going to, these levels are what you are going to now call here when you are doing the interactive plotly here. Of course, you know my data is this already given. Then I say add line. Another thing you have to bear in mind is that these things are based on the same line, the same x-axis, okay? Because they're configured to work on that same x-axis. I still believe that there should be a way to configure it in such a way that different x-axis should come along. But for now, let's focus on this dealing with the same x-axis. So at the first line, of course, you know the date is inside this df underscore data underscore new that we created. I say when you call the data x and df, sorry, df or data frame underscore open, the name must be open. Remember, we've defined open here. We've defined open somewhere here. Yeah, we define open here. So that is what we are saying. It will be open. Make it visible, true. Keep going. When you define the one that is closed, it should be legend only. So what this whole thing is telling you that as soon as you get a graph plotted, you should have open as the first one that will show. That is it. All right? And then the stock movement show legend is true, and the x-axis and all that. These ones are just pretty x and y-axis, but you have to update menu. Update menu, you use the update menu you have written here. All the buttons and the method. Remember that the buttons and the method are meant for you to update the graph. Now, if I pick it up here, from the update menu, I will run one, it goes. Then I'll run the second one. Then what do I have? I want to see by running the P7. Because this shows me this, takes care of this whole, P7 takes care of this whole syntax. But I want to see what P7 is. That's why it's outside here, and then I will run it. Then I will wait and see. Okay, P7 not found. That means I did not pick it up here. So I'm going to pick it up here and run. Okay? All right. It's saying, could not find function this. That means that I have to, because I reopened this, I have to make sure that we get this deployed. So I'm just going to run back the libraries to make sure that it's seeing them. Okay, make sure it's seeing them. If it's seeing them and seeing everything, because let's say make sure it's seeing everything, especially the data we merged, as I explained initially, then I can come back and run it. I believe this time around it's supposed to see it. It didn't see it, it will have to work. Oh, good, I've seen it. So, good, you can see it. I will see if this will open this time around. Let's see. Good, it has opened. Now you can see that we have a big interaction. Now the first one is stock market movement. That's just the name we gave it. And, we have the open prices. You see the way open is the one. And if I move to close, it gives you close. So these are the close prices for the day. You can interact with it. The low prices, adjusted prices. This is the volume of the stock, 300K and all that. So you see the way it goes. And then for every date, like here, you have April 9th. You see this is very handy way. You can see when the high stock, when the highest closing prices and all that. What does this tell you? You can use one stone to kill maybe 5 or 6 birds, like as we've done here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birds with one stone. So what does that mean? You have an easy way of interacting with what is happening in your stock or in your data or in your business. I tell you, this sort of visualization, if you have a back end, maybe where you are having streaming data or continuously data is going in, and this data that is going in is linked to this model you just created because you have called the data and it's linked to it. At every point in time, you can, maybe when you run the program, it will tell you the current stock situation. So you see that you can perfectly manage whatever you are doing with an interactive visualization that will give you and maybe the members of the executive team an easy information of how things are going. So that is the beauty of this. Now, when we do our Shiny app, and you see how we develop the board, that is the dashboard, you will appreciate what I've just done more. At this stage, the next thing you need to do is to post this or whatever you have done to Plotly Online. And remember, you have to do that for the assignment for you to be actually complete and for us to be sure that you know what you're doing. Having said this, by Thursday, we are going to go in that sense and look at our Shiny. But if you're having any issue, please do let me know. I will post this code and the data for it so that you can have a go. And when you have a go, please don't forget to ask me any question that is bugging you. Having said all this, I will wish you a good night and I hope to interact with you again on Thursday. But do not forget to look for data for your assignments. Please try to do something that is professional because it will be wonderful that once someone look at the assignment, he will say, yes, this individual has actually been taught in data visualization and communication, because you need to communicate. Don't forget to get the details of the information you want to pass to everyone through the podcast you are going to do in the next assignment. Having said this, I will say you have a good night and talk with you on Thursday. Bye for now.